Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out. With your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, don't block all the water.
Ahoy!
Ahoy!
My voice is going out now to the point where I don't quite trust it on cold opens. So I was over here in the background on mute being like,
That makes two of us that are feeling like trash today. So this will be fun. I gotta go.
Oh no! Well, it's dangerous times over here.
True.
Megan and I were trying to redesign a business card.
Oh no. The ever present quandary of business cards.
Well, no, it's just redesign anything in general. That is horrible and horrendous and awful. And I'm glad I don't. Anyway, like we have a business card that we've used. We hand out magnets and we can put them on like light poles and people's refrigerators and stuff. And I've always been really tempted to like throw it out of a window whenever I'm at a stoplight with a dog. You know, if I see somebody in a car.
So that's littering. You don't do that.
And they'd be able to know.
You're going to like fling it onto their car, like and then drive away.
Yes,
like Batman.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I want. But it's a magnet and it has my phone number on it, so they'd know, right? But anyway, we'd had it for a while and we're running out. I was like,
okay, people have that bumper stickers like, I love our, dachshund. You're like, well, there you go.
Let me tell you something else you'll love. Dog walks from a professional dog walker. No, I always come to like, okay, I've got to reprint these. So do we reprint them the same? Do we redo them? What do we do? And I had it in my head of like, okay, we're trying to do this new angle, this new approach. We're going to blow everything up and do it all from scratch. But then like Megan and I are like going through and she's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like that either, but I'm trying to do this thing. And then like, we get all these ideas going. And basically it's just like, we boil down to like, we hate everything and nothing is wonderful and we don't like it. And it's just like this big blow up. And then we realized that after we went through that entire design process, it was like 20 minutes of discussion. We were like, oh, this is the version we love the most. And if you take our first version and compare it, like the one that we have now, and compare it to the one that we were like, this is it. We changed. We changed exactly one word. And so I'm printing those tomorrow because we're going to sleep on it. We're going to make sure it's okay. But then
make sure that one word change is sufficient, right?
It's sufficient. Yeah. We changed the order of the other two, but
the same word though.
In the sentence, one word is different.
Okay.
So I'm like, no, that was not good. And we're also trying to design a fitted tablecloth for a table. Obviously for a table, because that's where tablecloths go.
I mean, that is where tablecloths generally go. Although, as a science teacher, I will say tablecloths have a great many uses, right? And so it's fine.
Do tell what
they make excellent parachutes. In case you're curious, and they do that.
Nice, not for the children, but for objects.
No, for the things that the children are throwing off the balcony. They're really good for that, right?
I like it.
I have a bit. I'm slowly realizing my dream having like bins of random things on my shelf.
Yeah,
slowly coming together. Right, my dream of being Adam Savage is just one step at a time. Right, like here we go.
I like it. Man, he's got a YouTube video of him designing his own like tool chest. Have you watched that one?
Oh yeah, I watched several of his things. I like the ones. I don't know if I've seen this one. Is that like a recent one?
No, it's a few years old. It's not a recent one.
Well, I saw one where he was like messing with a tool box. I didn't watch it.
Okay.
But I saw that.
Where he was trying to design it for like how he works and how he wants tools to be accessible. Basically,
I've seen that one. That's the one where he's like it basically looks like a ladder.
Yes.
right, with caster
Yeah.
wheels on it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That
Because he
thing's
just wanted
fantastic.
everything to be accessible like all the time.
Yeah, because he
And
hates drawers.
He
right?
hates drawers.
Yeah, he hates drawers because he wants to see the stuff.
Yes.
Because he feels that he'll use it or be inspired to use it if he can look at it. Which I guess that makes sense, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. That's exactly how I am, which is why I have organized piles throughout my office. It's just right over here. It's out of sight. It is out of mind, which is how I end up with multiple copies of things.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Why I can never find the digital files of things I need for class. Like, where did I put that? Like, I have some stuff, but like the thing that I use the most is just it looks those things that are like milk crates that you can just put hanging file folders in.
Oh yeah.
I just have that, right?
Nice.
For like stuff, and I'm like, oh, I need this sheet. There it is. Bang! It just sits next to my desk. I have like a little 2-drawer file cabinet, but it's for like records and stuff like that, and like other things. And it was there when I moved into the room, so there's also like mystery things in there.
Ooh.
I also rearranged it so I can just put in like some of my modeling clays in there. My sling psychrometers are in there. Right. So it's just kind of like handy storage, like instrument storage kind of thing. Yeah. But like all the stuff I use daily is just in a milk crate thing because I find that it's just the easiest to use and be like, oh, I need this. Floop.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
No, I have officially come to the point where the keeping track mentally of where digital files are is becoming increasingly impossible. Like I've got digital files on my computer that I've kept since senior year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But now like for like business files and stuff, like, and we get all sorts of like, oh, use this Google Sheet to track these things, and this is the auto calculator that does this, or here's a new SOP that you should try, or here's the like. Now all of those documents are burgeoning, and they're not even stored locally. They're like in the cloud, and now like I genuinely have reached the point I have no idea what's in my Google Drive anymore. And so more often than not, before I'm like, let me go search, let me go see, like, let me go find that thing. It's just I spend a few seconds just in Google Drive, like searching some keywords to see what pops up, to see if I have it. And it honestly makes me want to go, and this is where I am at. Like, I really want to just print off a physical copy of this with notes on where to find it in my digital files.
Oh, Lord.
Because I know if I have a physical copy of it, I'm going to remember it better than it just not existing or being real.
That's true. That's why so it's even worse for me because at school, right? Because we use Gmail Suite for our school email stuff, right?
Sure.
There is just like Google Drive that everybody has access to.
Oh,
what? It's so annoying. There's so much junk in there. Like, I just need these like 2 folders that I finally made. Okay. And that's all I want. And every time you open it, there's like a billion things in there. You can see stuff that admin has shared and like, well, I don't want this. Like, go away. I need the My Drive thing with where is my history folder? Where is that? Okay. That's what I want only. Stop it.
Oh, wow.
I don't want all this other junk.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And you know, I've been generating a lot more digital things recently as well than I have been before, like just straight up documents. And that's where it's been harder for me to keep track of things. Like I have so I realize like I'm trying to do a big data analysis for like the business side of things, and that just generates so much cruft that you kind of throw off, but you may need later. And I was getting tired of doing all of this analysis in a Google Sheets because everyone's like, "Oh, you got a spreadsheet for that? You got a spreadsheet for that?" And I'm like, "No, what I'm trying to do is I have questions that I know how to answer, and I've been really reluctant to go down the road of like dusting off my quantitative analysis skills. But I'm like, yep,
those need to stay in the bag. You don't need those.
Like, no, I guess I just have to crank up the old statistical software and start running some linear regressions is what I need to be doing, and that's what I need to be spending my time with.
Oh no.
Well, because here's my question. Okay. We have a tracker of every person who's contacted us for services for the last year and a half. Okay. And I know how they found me. I know how they contacted me first, email, through our software, phone call, social media, that thing. I know that. I know their zip code because I asked that on the through this process. I know and I know whether they converted to an actual client or not. Right. So I have an endpoint for each one of those line items. And so I want to know, is there some combination of those other variables that lead to higher or lower conversion rates to actual clients?
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yes. And then can I do then when I was like, well, a year and a half ago, we weren't as good as we are now. So I have to do a quarter by quarter analysis, but I also need to see if certain, if I can find patterns within each service that they requested. So like dog walking, can I compare Q4 of 2023 conversion rates across client pipeline to Q1? This is what I've been tight with. But
oh no.
And so I'm constantly having to like generate graphs and see it, and then like dig into the tables that it generates, and then like graphs and tables. And so all this stuff is being generated now, and I'm trying my best to keep it in all one spot and figure out what's going on and whatever. So here's the main takeaway. Here's the main takeaway though, people. Ready for this? Ready? Okay. If somebody contacts us regardless of service and they find us on Google and then they book and then they go to our website to contact us, that has the highest conversion rate of everything. So it doesn't matter what service, except for the ones that we just don't offer. Like that, I throw those out. They go through Google directly to our website, super high conversion rate. Versus if they call me
having magnets thrown at their cars,
right?
Super low conversion rate. Shockingly, right? Who could have seen this coming?
Right? I know. Oh, so I was out trying to talk to other businesses and stuff and hand flyers, and I come in and I wasn't having a good day because I had some people who were like really confused by what we did, and unintentionally I was like, "No, I'm not a franchise," and they were like, "Oh." Wow. Well, okay. Like, I'm not a franchise. Anyway, so I was upset, but I came in to this realtor's office and I came in and she, lady at the front desk looked up and she goes, "Oh, you're the dog walker." And I was like, "Hi." And she was like, "I was just on your website." So I said, "That's the kind of service you can expect from us." And then
it's like summoning. It's like,
oof. Yeah. Like, I know. I sensed. So yes, I have this feeling of just like, I'm making good progress on this, but then I just have this feel of overwhelming dread of I'm doing my best to stay organized as I plow forward with this by like labeling files appropriately and putting them different folders. But I just feel like because I'm on a fact-finding mission and I'm not really I'm not presenting any of this. I'm not doing anything with this externally. I just have a question that I need answered. And then we can start making decisions from there. I'm just throwing off all of this stuff behind me as I go. And I'm starting to get a little bit overwhelmed that I'm not going to be able to trace my way back through. So
okay. Yeah. If
right.
you're just
yeah. Right. So
leaving a wake of I have this visual image of you running down the street with actual spreadsheets flying off of you that are in
Yeah.
You know, and like disintegrating into ash as you run down with the dog.
Yes. And as I'm like doing hand calculations on papers,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, 3
on
and then
coffee house napkins.
Right.
Just,
yeah. And then I go, okay, I learned it was 3, and I just take the napkin and I throw it over my shoulder, and I go, okay, now that I know it's 3, let me do this next thing. But I don't know how I got 3 in the first place, right? And so I'm having to like, okay, I gotta get my text editor, and I gotta start saving my code and annotating it and making sure I have my thought processes out there so I can work my way back through this and generate everything again. So I've been my last 3 days have been a little like frenetic in nature as I've been doing this.
It does sound very overwhelming. As as the person that's like allergic physically to paperwork, this is like,
I don't. And I haven't.
This is rough. I don't.
There have been a few points where I've generated a bunch of graphs and I've hovered over the print button and I've backed away. So I haven't printed anything off. It's all going. It's all going into folders, so we're all fine.
Oh no!
But I'm really close to just printing these off because I'm like, finally, right? Like,
go with it. Blah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's been what I've been just. First, I don't know. Like I just caught this bug, and because someone was like, "Oh, we're trying to answer a question on, well, your active clients per month has stayed the same, but your new client inquiries has dropped drastically. How did that happen?" Right. And so at first I was just like, well, let me just calculate conversion rates of new clients that come in, how many convert to actual clients. And I realized that
versus just like looking, right.
Because that I was getting frustrated because that's every time, because people will say, oh, do a data analysis. And what they mean is like, have a spreadsheet and kind of use your best reckon. And I'm like, no.
That's not an analysis. If you're just like, well, I speculate. Like,
let me figure. Let me put my figuring hat on because I'm like, no, I know, because that's when I lost. That's when I jumped off the deep end, and I was like, I know how to analyze this and actually get a statistically relevant and significant answer. Like I know
correlation coefficient functions.
Right? Yes, exactly. Right.
I remember that from I did that in geography class weirdly, but anyway,
interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I was like, I've got to, now, sure, that's not quite useful in this, but I have a book called Biometry. It's Stokel and Rolfe. It's like the go-to data analysis book for biometry, right? And so I was like, I can do this. And so that's because again, I was just getting frustrated because everyone was just like, I figure and I reckon and I kind of looked and I see this thing and I'm like, no, I need to know if there's a trend or not because this is kind of important.
Yes, that's
right. Like I don't want to double down on because honestly,
on graph go up. Wow, thanks guys. That's why I did. When some people do say they do data analysis, they do just generate a graph and then like look at it, which I don't know how to tell you this, but that's not really data analysis, right? Like this. I mean, that's like a step, that's like a piece of it, but there is more to it than that.
Yes.
Right? It's like you have to do stuff. You can't just be like, yes. Well, I noticed that this graph line went down. Thank you. My sixth graders could have made this exact same observation. And so you have not actually analyzed diddly squat, right? Like you've done nothing.
Right. Well, and like visualizing data is really important. Like, again, that's why I have all of these PDF files that I really want to print off because it's like, I need a bar graph. I need a line graph. I need a cluster analysis graph. I need to see these PCA components and how they're arranged spatially together in these groups. Like, that's good for me. But I also need to then say, does it matter? Right? Can I say if this matters or not? Because if we're really doing things like, hey, you need to double down on the things that work and get rid of the things that don't, well, then I need to know whether it's working or not. And one of these things that came up was like, hey, when like this was my big like, okay, this totally makes sense. Okay. So if somebody wants pet sitting services, they find us on Google, they go to our website, they convert to an active client like 30% of the time, which is actually a big percentage, right? 30% of the time that line happens, or when that happens, 30% of the time, I get a brand new client out of that. Versus if the one difference that you have here is if somebody finds us on Facebook, it goes from, and everything else is the same. They want the same services. They go to our website, they go through all that stuff, but they found us on Facebook. Those people only become a client 14% of the time. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So then it's like, why, right? Why is that happening? And come up with a lot of different explanations, but like really foundationally, it's the search intent in Google is so strong that those people were already primed and ready to use you. And so,
yeah, whereas Facebook, they could have just come across it in a thing, right? Like,
right, a random comment or something. Now it's not inconsequential. It's not 14%, still 14%. Sure, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's now I'm going, okay, I need to like, for me, that tells me to stress less about Facebook, right? And like stress less about the content and the quality that comes with that, because they don't convert over to clients as much. So
yeah,
whatever
when they find you by Googling dog walkers near me.
Yes.
Right. Like that's
exactly.
Boom.
So like from a mindset perspective, it's like, okay, this makes sense. Now I need to figure out that. And that's not to say that we're not going to try and, make the Facebook one larger, but it is saying that I'm not going to worry about that. So that's why this kind of stuff is important to me. I don't just want to reckon or count things and say, okay, well, I had 4 and then there's 3. So, one's bigger. Like, no, I can find trends. And that's what I was trying to dig into with this. It is why my stats program is still open and I'm still making graphics. Fine.
It's very nice.
But yeah, so I'm sorry you're not feeling well, and you're
yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really sleep very much last night, and then so I have like headache, and then I think like sinusy nonsense happening in my life currently. So it's just kind of like a general like blah, which is great because I have to stay at school for like 90 bajillion hours tomorrow for parent teacher conferences. So
it is that time
yay!
of year.
Look forward to that. That's
nice.
Yeah, so it's that's not looking. I'm not looking forward to that if I feel like this tomorrow. So just like I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Sorry.
Like, how's my kid doing? Fine. Yeah, they're fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
You have 3. You get 3 questions.
Yeah, you get 3 questions. Luckily, we do all of our conferences as like a team, as a 6th grade team, right? So it's not just like me alone, right? We just all sit in the same room and then they just talk to us. And sometimes they're like, they don't want to talk to me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And they want to talk to the math person. So they just go over there and talk to the math person and then it's all right. So we just.
Now, I know that when you say that, like, are you at the same table? Are you just in the same room all together?
So I think we may bring in a table, but like, yeah, we're just kind of in the room. So like we can kind of, if people want to talk just like only to you, they can like, you can just like go over to the corner and like talk and then they can switch out to another person and it's all just in one room together. It makes it easier to deal with. And then when it's like low flow, one person can come in and we can all just be like, yeah, talk at the same time. And then they leave and then it just gets over quick.
I like that. I mean, I know it's way more convenient for the parents, but also because you all work really closely with one another on stuff. I'm sure that's helpful for overlapping conversations or things like that too.
Yeah, it just kind of makes it go quicker and like you can just kind of, it's pretty casual, right? Like, because by this point in the year, like if we would have called you already if there's like a significant thing we're concerned about, like we would have like called you or sent you a letter, right? So like it's pretty just kind of like, oh yeah, blah, blah. That's no, so the people that do need like more like in-depth stuff, we've already reached out to them and talked to them about stuff or attempted to. So like it's pretty chill, right? It's kind of like just they just come and we just talk a little bit and parents ask questions and then the kids talk about stuff and then they leave. So
nice. Hopefully that, yeah. So how long do those typically go?
It goes till 7.
Okay.
So it just feels like a very long time. Because usually what ends up happening is like no one comes and then like 8 people come at once and then no one comes and then like 5 people, right? It's like, it's very rarely like a steady stream of trickle of people. It's always like a whole bunch of people, no one, a whole bunch of people, and then like a small group like right at the end, right? Like
I see. Yeah. And yeah, then you're trying to, I guess, then you feel like you're kind of rushing at the very end to get everybody through.
But also
so
I'm
you're
hungry.
not there.
And so we need I mean, the school is going to provide us sandwiches, but they are providing us said sandwiches at 3:30.
Yeah.
So this isn't very long after I've just eaten lunch. So like, while I appreciate the gesture, this is not super helpful in the grand scheme of things. Right? Like, I don't know how this is supposed to happen. It's not like I could eat it while I'm talking to a parent, right? That's awkward. So you have to like do it in the middle. So I think I usually just get some chips and then just wait and come home and eat something.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like, but then it's like, if you're like me, you reach that point where you're just straight ravenous. And now it's like, no, like I'm eating the door handles and everything.
Yes. So that is a problem also, but it's something that we have to overcome. So it's okay.
I'm sure you'll survive for one night, maybe.
True. Hopefully. I hope so. So we'll see that. But we're starting our, what is it called? Our little science side quest experiment for this month, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is right up your alley. We're talking about stream erosion.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
Very nice. Nice.
And so I have made some little miniature stream tables out of some pastry tin.
Perfect.
With some sand. And I will say, getting the sand to a wet enough consistency where it firmly sticks together and then starts eroding quickly when you introduce more water. Like you have to get it like just under the saturation point, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to make erosion happen. So it does have to be wet. Like wet. Right? Because otherwise the experiment is just like not very exciting because like nothing happens. You like pour the water in and it just like soaks into the sand. You're like, no, that's not. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
That's wrong. So trying to find that ratio of how much water do I put in the sand first, and then the kids like build their little thing in there, and then we add more water to it.
Sure.
To see the erosion happen. That is where I'm at currently, trying to discover how much water the sand needs in it first.
Yes. How saturated is saturated?
Yeah, very. It needs to be very saturated.
Oh, turns out.
But they did some good designing today. That was good. Like they had some time at the end of class, so they were going for it today. So I found some I was like, I have these random things that you can use, right? But if there's other things you want to use, just ask me or bring them from your house, and we can make that happen. But these are the things I have, right? Like popsicle sticks, and I did get handfuls of like rocks, like small, like quarter size rocks from the playground. like between like nickel and quarter size, because that fits best into my thing. And then like just a bunch of little strips of cardboard, because that works pretty good for stuff. So we had some very interesting ideas today. So we'll see how they go, but they're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of them looking really good. Some of them are like, I don't think that, because some people, they're just like, well, we'll just block the whole stream. Like, no. You see what?
Oh.
I do know what'll happen if you do this, right? I do know what'll happen. The sand will get saturated enough, and now the weight of the water pushing on your barrier and the weight of all the sand trying to go down there will collapse the whole thing.
Oh no! Yeah,
right. I do know, and the whole thing will just like, because I like angle it, obviously, right? So the whole thing will just like slide to the bottom.
Oh no!
Because the water gets to the bottom and it increases the friction between the sand and the pan, and then it just like breaks off in hunks, and just the whole thing just slides down to the bottom.
Ooh.
Right? No, maybe don't do that. Because I told him, I was like, you could try that, but I do know that doesn't usually work the best.
Right.
It's my pro tip. Like, you could try to block all the water, but
maybe
don't.
Yeah.
Have to leave it a place to go. Otherwise, it will find its own place to go. And that's when bad things start happening. Right? And sneaky water will just get in anywhere and start breaking stuff. So you got to.
Yeah. Try not to tie in for last week's episode in our discussion of dams.
It did. Maybe. After you said that, I watched this video. I meant to send it to you. I forgot to. It's called "Why All Dams Are Permanent," or "Why All Dams Are Temporary," rather.
Oh,
and I was like,
that's a twist. Oh. Why?
See if I can find that later.
Why are all dams?
I was talking about silting, right? And changing the water flow of the river and the silt flow, right? And how it raises lake beds eventually when you have like massive amounts of inflow and no outflow, right?
Yeah. just dredge a bit.
I mean, that's what the solution is sometimes, right? Like, that's what they do. They're just like, well, I could rip this up. But I was thinking about that after we said that, after last week when you visited said dam.
I did.
You're doing more water adventures this week? Is this true?
Oh,
like, you just can't get enough of early spring, not warm water.
Not warm water. Now, in my defense, the last time we did this was in June, and the water was also not warm. So
okay, that is fair, but
so it's fine. But yes, I had to be in town because I had to give insulin shots to a cat. His name is Spartacus, with a nickname of Sparty, and it's because he used to be a wild cat, and he got into a fight, and that cat ripped off his ears. So he's a very interesting cat now. But he's super cute, super lovable, just requires a little shot. And so I need to be out helping, do some training and oversight with that, because it's just, we don't get that frequent enough in order for like that skill to stay relevant for a lot of my team. So I have to step in quite a lot when that happens. And so we were in town, and we were like, well, what can we do? Because it's every 12 hours. So it's like we have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's every 12 hours. And so we went, we will go kayaking. And so we went on the James River, on that little jaunt. It only takes, this time it took us 2.5 hours. A, because there was no wind in our face. B, because we were not jumping in the water to play.
So we did expedite the process by not swimming.
It turns out when you don't stop to swim on the gravel bars, it speeds it up quite a bit. But it was
Who could have seen that coming?
Lovely. It was a 50-degree day with not a cloud in the sky. And we were on the river. and it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. The water level, I'm honing in. 5 feet is a great water level. So last time I floated, it was 4.93.
Yeah,
we came over and it was like 5.3.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was a wonderful trip down the river. It was just high enough from all those places that we were dragging. We were just going over. There was one spot where the river split into. There is definitely a side loop on that river, and you only get access to it above 5 feet of water. And
is that by the old concrete pilings and stuff?
It's just downstream from that a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's this big sidearm that goes around. Well, we're sitting there, and Megan, I was like, because you could go the main way, the straight way, the main channel way, but it was really hooking, and I was a little worried about being swept into a branch. Well, actually, it was a log, kind of like being swept into that and being
the old strainer,
right? I was like, if we go through this, I've got to really hug the right bank. I've got to really hug that hard. And we can probably skip through that. But if I get any further out into the channel, I'm just going to go straight into that. So Megan's in a little kayak. I'm in the canoe with the kids. And so we're like, well, Megan, why don't you, the adventurous one, and you want to do kayaking things? Because again, when she gets in the kayak, it's just like, I am kayaker. As it does to everybody.
I mean, that is true. You get
it is, because all of a
like
sudden
a vibe going on, you know?
I know, it's a total vibe. So I'm like, hey, go kayak. And so she went off on this adventure with this little narrow chute. And suddenly we have the radios. So I brought 2-way radios with us. And all I get back from her is, don't go this way.
An ominous sign from a kayaker. Like, don't come over here.
Don't come over here. So I'm like,
okay.
Well, okay. So we get out.
You actually said Roger 10-4, didn't you?
Roger. No,
yeah.
And I said, okay, well, we'll meet you on the other side. And we shoot the thing, and we're all paddling on the left, and the kids did great, and we get through, and then we come around the bend, and the part that she had come on, just it kind of just touches right there, just around this little block, right, this little gravel bar. But then I can see there's a larger channel that shoots way off, and Megan is stuck and unable to come over to us with how the water is flowing and kind of how she's pinned on. And every time she tries to turn towards us, she gets really tippy because the water is saying, we're not going that way. You're going this way. And so she keeps trying, and she can't get out because, well, she doesn't want to get in the cold water, and it's fine. So I'm like, well, see you on the other side.
Wow, abandoned.
And so I'm like, well, you know how to get back here. Like, we'll just stay in radio contact if you run into anything. But it looked like a big channel, a lot of water is flowing. So I was like, you'll be fine. And then of course it's she heads off, and the kids and I head down the river, and they're like, where's mom? I'm like, here, talk to her on the radio.
Like, oh, she'll be back in a minute. It's fine.
She'll be fine. And then we go down just a little bit more, and I had to get out and port the boat over a gravel bar because it was really like, there's no way we're making it through this strainer. Like, I just cannot. I'm not risking it. So it's freezing cold water. I had to take off my shoes. I've got my pants pulled up, and I'm dragging the kids across the gravel bar. And I was like, yeah, this is the start of some movie. I feel like this is the wife goes off on an unknown part of the river. Husband pulling kids.
Oh no.
We were just supposed to be gone for the afternoon. Right? I pull us over. We get back in, and we start going down, and then we join back up. It was a happy ending to the story.
Oh, good.
Everything's
all right.
fine.
Hooray.
Megan is still not out on the river. Don't worry.
Okay. Yes, that is good. Thank you for not just leaving her out there. She may be cross about that. So,
so we survived our trip. It was fantastic. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, look, it's not going to be a particularly warm day, and there are factions within my family who really detest the chilliness. So
That's
like,
true. But one of them was in a kayak, so their headspace was completely different now, right? So it's okay.
This is true. It's
right?
true.
They're in a
That's a good
in a
point.
kayaking headspace. So we're
Kayaking
like,
headspace, which nothing matters. You're just
must kayak, right? So
gliding through the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was warm the minute she was in the boat because she wasn't thinking about the cold. But we still pulled off a couple times to go, look for shells and just see stuff and play. But no, it was fantastic. I recommend winter, if not early spring, water activities because it's just beautiful and get to see some fun stuff.
That's true. Very nice. I always like going in the spring or winter because there's just less people in the way, right?
Yeah.
However, it is very cold, and oftentimes the water is like quite low in the winter, so that is less exciting because then you have to like get out and portage, and that sucks when it's really cold.
Yeah,
right? That's like, dang it. I made a mistake here. What am I doing? My toes are freezing. This is bad. I don't.
Yeah. And then, then I was like, well, my shoes, I'm sopping wet. I like my legs were. I'm not gonna. And of course, we didn't have a towel because I was like, it's fine. We're not gonna whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Of course not.
So I'm like, well,
Why
I'm not
would
gonna
you
put my
do that?
shoes back on. So then, of course, that meant that I just sat there in the boat without shoes on for the next 45 minutes.
As one does.
As one does. But it was fine. It was fine. Everything was fine. And yeah. And so,
okay.
So yeah, I recommend it next time.
There we go. Hooray.
Oh, I have this week. Oh man, I don't know. We'll just mark today. Like if like everything goes downhill from here, just know it's because I got like a super maxed out like B12 shot today. So like I don't know what's going to happen today.
Well, okay. Who did jump starting? Like we're good.
Oh my gosh. No, what happened was we went to a chamber event and they had given out a gift card. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to use this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's for. And Megan was like, you do realize these are for shots, right? And I was like, oh, well,
I am now less excited.
I don't know about that. But, it was like, it's a B12. So it's going to be like, energy and like vitamins and like, let's do this. And getting this thing was insane. I'm not going to say the shot wasn't even that bad, but like getting to the point where we needed to do the shot, that was hard because I came in and I didn't have it with me. And I was like, hey, I won this thing. I don't have it with me. I just want to know like, what's the process with getting. And at the desk, a lady said, so I was talking to one lady and she's talking to me. And then she turns to her coworker and tells her the same story. That other lady audibly says, yeah, so he says he got a free one.
Like, I'll come back. I just am in the neighborhood and I
know. And then it was like, we'll get in touch with you. And then it was days before they got in touch with us. And it's like, it's supposed to be like a nice, like high end thing for like health and med spa things. Right. And then it's like, oh, you've got this thing at 2:30. And then they came back and like, oh, we need to schedule a phone call with an RN to make sure everything's kosher before we do this. And then I said, okay, well, let's just do it at 2, right? And then I'll be out for the thing at 2:30. And then at 2:06, they reached out to my private Facebook and were like, hey, are you coming in? And I went, oh, the appointment's not till 2:30. I'm waiting for the phone call at 2. And they went, oh, no, we do the phone call here at our place. And I was like,
probably should have mentioned that before.
Not make no sense. So I go in and then and the reason I'm saying if this all goes downhill is because I was supposed to get a B12 shot because I'm like, it's harmless. But instead,
Uh-oh.
I don't appreciate the name of this thing, but we're just going to see what it does. It's called Mega Burn.
Oh, that. No. Oh, no. This is very.
And I was
Ooh.
like, what?
You're like, does it like hurt? Like, I don't.
Yeah, but it's all like supposed to have like amino acids and vitamins and like metabolism boosting energy stuff kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, like let's do this. So I will see. We'll see. We got Megan one too. So like both of us are in this. So like if we start like glowing, like we're gonna be able to see. And
yes. That I like, man, the naming, the marketing of this is not
I know
it. Right. And I realize I'm saying this from a point of not the target audience. Right. I'm aware it's not for me. I get it. Right.
Fine.
Wellness is not, that's not my marketing. Right. I eat healthy and I like walk and stuff, and boom. That's pretty much it. Like, I like cosmetic wellness is not my shit, but Mega Burn.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah. And I think it's because in higher dosages, it's used for like for people who are doing like intense workouts and stuff, like can help like convert more fat to energy burning kind of thing. But
I mean, yeah, but like
low dose anyway. I don't know. Again, it's not really like my thing typically, but I'm like, hey, it was free, so why don't we just try? But
I feel like this is the wrong attitude for like cocktails of shots, right? Like, but it was free though, so it's fine. Like, well,
but here's the crazy thing. Okay, well this isn't crazy, but like, because Megan went to
the fact that this place exists and does this like frequently,
yeah,
kind of crazy, right? That's
check out like again, like med spas are your big thing, and like this is what they do. They're just like, oh, you want this vitamin? Well, sure, like give me your arm, like pow. Megan,
this is very like dystopian cyberpunky, right? Like
it's awesome. Megan went to a women's health fair, and no joke, there was a health spa there. Not this one, but they were giving out free B12 shots that you could take home with you. Like they were.
I am not giving myself a shot at nothing. No,
they were handing out, and she got 2 of them, and we didn't go through them because I freaked myself out because it was literally a syringe with like a little like card on it that was like B12 is great for you, blah blah. It was a syringe filled with red liquid, and it was like take this.
No, that's way cyberpunky.
I know,
and like, okay, look, people, I don't know. Like, does nobody else remember the 90s? Do you remember that needles are bad? Right? And like, what you need is like extreme sterilization, or you just get all kinds of exciting illnesses, right? You cannot just be giving people syringes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So this was my intense aversion to holding these free things handed to me. Like she's like, oh yeah, they were just giving out I just grabbed some from a basket.
What basket?
Like
a basket of syringes now.
There was no, yeah, it was like, oh here, these are free, take these. So
like, oh, they were passing out free lighters to
free crack pipes. Like God. It's fine. Like it's
spoons here. Spoons. Everything's fine.
Got some mirrors in the corner.
Oh so God.
Yeah, I know. I was so like, oh my
free belt comes with. Oh
yeah. So they were just handing those out, and I'm like, okay, this is too far. Well, flash forward to today, I have 2 syringes sitting in our refrigerator because they let us take the other 2 home.
Oh my Lord! What? No. Oh, you get.
But this
Guys, what
isn't
is
red
happening?
liquid; it's an amber liquid, right? So it's fine.
Oh, yes, because that makes it more safe, right? I've heard that amber is the color of your energy, right? Oh, there we go. We missed 311 day yesterday, so I got to bring it in today. Kablam!
We got it, snuck it in.
Got to sneak it in. There we go.
Oh my gosh! And on the way out, they were like, "Oh, and if you like these, we sell them in 10 packs."
10 packs.
And I realized just like, oh my gosh, like we're doing this because it's a free thing. And I don't know, like, sure, inject me with vitamins, fine, whatever. But like, there are people that I'm pretty sure like religiously go to these places and are just walking out with arms full of syringes filled with, I don't know. And they
literally
don't know
just all in their arm, like,
yeah, they're just
like a porcupine.
Yeah, just bundled all out. And they're just having a blast for whatever they're trying to do. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is terrifying.
This is terrifying. This is
so
not okay.
crazy.
This. Oh my gosh, I can't process this. Yes.
So that's
I think I'll just stick with my Flintstones vitamins, right? I think
that was the other thing.
I was like,
oh no. Okay. Crazy you bring that up. As she's giving Megan the shot, she's like, oh, some people taste Flintstone vitamins after I give this to them. And I was like,
is it actually just ground up Flintstone vitamins?
You know, and then the more I looked at it, the more I was like, if I were to crush up Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah, was the amber actually just the orange Flintstone vitamins? Like, was it?
Exactly. I think it's just made from concentrate Flintstone vitamins.
Oh no, those are already mega concentrated anyway.
No, yeah, which is why I had to have the poison control calls after I ate most of the bottle. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Listeners, Collin thought that the Flintstone vitamins were candy, and he just downed like a handful of those suckers.
Yeah.
So we did have to call poison control again for that. Fun times. All right, you don't even need any B12. You ate that many Flintstones vitamins, you're good to go. That's still in there, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think we also need to just pay real quick attention to the statement of we had to call the poison control again for that. Because
it's fine. It's okay. It's a thing that happens. Like,
oh my gosh. So yeah, this has been a wild week. I gotta say, like, I don't know, like it's
this is a wild week. I cannot get over this like mega dystopian vibes of like just handing out syringes to people.
Yeah.
There was the 90s, the whole time they were like, don't give people syringes. Don't do that. And here we are. Like, hey guys, how about some more syringes? Like,
exactly.
No. No. Not that. Not the thing we said not to do.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah. So here's the thing. Like we have these two, like we're supposed to do shots like another 2 week, like another week, 2 weeks. It starts 2 weeks. It's on the calendar. I'll remember it.
Oh my gosh.
Fine. Totally fine. She did say not to do it within the same week. And I was like, why? And she's like, oh,
for the same, take half a bottle of Flintstones.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, yeah, you'll be on their records again at least. But no, yeah, she said to do it in 2 weeks. And so we are, I was like, okay. And right before we left, she said, so you'll just need to make sure that you put them in like, some container, like a coffee can or a milk jug or, something like that. And then, because in my head, I was like, oh, right. Sharps containers.
Yeah. Sharps containers are a thing. They have to be disposed of in a specific way.
And really specific. And I was like, I don't have a specific way. I just have a trash bin.
Yeah, which is not okay.
Then I realized I'm going to be part of the problem.
Yes. I like how they're like, oh, just put it in a milk jug. You're fine. Like, bro, what?
Oh,
I have a video you need to watch. Every year I have to watch these training videos for school about like personal protective equipment, and the sharps disposal and container one is on there. And I think we need to give it to these people.
yeah, it is wild. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
See what happens. What happens here? Yeah. You know, and she was like
B12 syringes all over the playground, right?
Yeah. I think you mean Mega Burn.
Mega Burn. Oh no. Are they like fancy syringes? I feel like a place like this would have like swank syringes too. Or are they just like straight up ones? Right? Are they like silver? Right? They look like a medical doctor in 1860 had them, about? Right? Yeah, like
with 20 gauge needles. No,
yeah, right. Like
no, I have had to deal with like cheap ones. Like the really cheap ones are the ones that you usually use for like insulin shots because, you go through so many of those as an individual. Like they are just like. These need to serve a single purpose, and all syringes are single use. So I do have to say that. But for these
that is true. Disclaimer.
Again,
please 90s. Remember, syringes are single use delivery systems.
Yes. But like those tend to be like really, really cheap because you have to go through so many of them as a personal level. I've also had these are definitely nicer ones. They are very sturdy. They're not flimsy at all. The plastic seems nice and thick, but no, they're not like silver and have the glass tube or things like that. Unfortunately,
I mean that's good. I also had this image in my head from. I'm gonna send this to you. I had this image in my head from BioShock, the video game. This is what. This is the other thing I was thinking about when you're like, they just gave me a syringe with red liquid in it. I was like, oh no. It's that.
Oh, let me see.
Very bad. Oh, very bad. You don't want that.
That's fantastic. That's show art. That's what that is. That is perfect. Yeah. Well, I should ask them if they could start doing that. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Like, oh hey. Or the ones that have the rings on them, like the old timey ones, right? Like the 3 rings on the back, the plunger.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. It's like like old timey, like fancy ones, but yeah. No. So yeah, we'll see. I was told that it's not supposed to make me like super jittery or like and I'm like,
or actually burn, right?
Yeah, or actually burn because like I don't need that in my life. It's just supposed to like help, like a pep kind of thing. So we'll see. I don't know.
There you go.
See. Anyway, so yeah, that's my week. It's only Thursday.
That's a lot. It's a lot of things happening. Optimization, fancy needles. I
know.
Loading adventures. You're going all over the place.
I know. I need a rest now.
Yeah. But you might not be able to because it's the Mega Burn.
I know I'm wired with Mega Burn. Oh, jeez. No, we're going to be ready for going to a chamber breakfast tomorrow. So we're going to start off the day with like we take the kids to these because they like to go. And I was like, why do you like to go? And they both agreed that they like the biscuits.
Oh, there we go. Good job, Chamber, for having good biscuits.
So that's what they were excited about tomorrow. And do some civics and some biscuits.
There you go. It's more important than networking. Good biscuits are
exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh.
Other than that, I have if we're reaching the end here, I do have a haiku.
All right. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, I have nothing else. I'm very boring this week. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's been a manic week. It's been I'm on the upswing here for the episode.
That's true.
So we're like, But no, here's my
it's the mega burn.
mega bird.
I want you to say that to them when you go back. Like, I'm here from round 2 of my mega burn, and just see what they say. Like, say it like
call
that.
On the phone. Just call on the phone and be like, y'all got some mega burn.
Yeah, you got any more of that mega burn in today? Like, oh no.
Sir, please stop. Please stop calling.
Yeah. Need to make sure you're wearing a monster truck hat or something when you say that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because I can channel the hat through the phone so they'll really get the intent of what's going on. I like this idea. Okay. Well, here is my my haiku. Ancient stone secrets. Trails wind through Ha Ha Tonka. Missouri whispers.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
I don't know if I got off on there somewhere. It's fine. It works.
It's fine. It's okay. It's all right.
Just keep this joke going so we don't.
It's fine. It's a free form one. Free form. Okay.
Yeah.
You see the total syllables in there eventually. It doesn't, if you want to mix up how they get there, that's like art, man. Just like,
don't put me in a box. Except, the box that is the haiku format. Fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So very good. Well, I'll continue. I'll do a daily log of how I'm feeling after the burn, and
okay, if you feel the burn or not.
Feel the burn. This goes, and look forward to. I'm putting down some statistics and seeing how your bin collection continues to grow.
All right.
Well,
sounds good.
Do this again next time.
Indeed.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.